My name is Florian Schultz.
I'm his brother Salomon.
We got an old pickup truck,
a handful of flashcards.
We're gonna take this baby on a road trip and see what it can do. Woohoo!
So we just got back from the field, 4 weeks with a prototype of the D600. It was quite an amazing trip.
We just finished the rough cut and we want to show you some of the scenes and what we experienced, give you a little bit of an insight how we made it all happen.
It was just the two of us shooting, no big production team or anything. And I'm pretty certain that in some of the scenes people are really gonna wonder, like, how in the world did you make that all happen? So let's take a look at the D600. As you can see, it's a very small, lightweight and compact camera, and it still has a 24 megapixel full frame sensor. And what's really amazing is that despite the 24 megapixel, it still shoots 5.5 frames a second. The autofocus is fast, you can still focus at f8, and even though it has 24 megapixels, the high ISO capabilities are really stunning.
But it's also great for shooting video. It's got a full HD video function, an LCD which is really sharp and that you can look at all angles. And what's also amazing is you can actually switch from the full frame FX format to the DX format. Now here in the scene with the sea elephants, I sometimes want to get really close, so I'm switching to the DX format, and that'll extend my telephoto reach quite a bit. So for example, I can just film the eye of the sea elephant.
Another way to get closer to your subject, of course, is using a teleconverter. And if you're using a doubler, it jumps to f8 and normally the autofocus doesn't work anymore. But with a D600, it's still possible to autofocus, and that makes it a perfect combination with my favorite lens, the 200 to 400.
This is so good. It's so amazing. I mean, I'm shooting with 6400 ISO. With a double teleconverter.
Yeah, we realized it's a really awesome camera for doing wildlife, but it's also good for landscapes.
We wanted to bring the camera to the most spectacular places in the West, you know, to shoot scenics, but also to shoot time-lapse.
Yeah, because we were photographing in so many different locations, we really wanted to get the road trip aspect into the film too.
So right from the start we had a shot in mind with a car driving down a long endless road, and it was important for me to add motion to the shots whenever it was possible, so we often used the crane or the gyro stabilizers.
We wanted to get some really dramatic angles for the road shot, so we mounted a camera right at the edge of the wheel. Take a look. We used some suction cups and also the magic arms. This way we could get low enough down to have the wheel spinning, the dust flying off, and the sun in the background.
The prototype of the D600 is hanging onto a shoestring.
Here we go. We knew that we wanted to have a time-lapse section in the video, and the idea I had was to, you know, have the tripod fixed in one position as we were sitting at the campfire, and then later on at night we would start the time-lapse function and blend over in the starry sky.
So many nights we had to get up at 2 in the morning to shoot a time lapse for 2 or 3 hours that at the end is only 10 or 15 seconds long.
The D600 is a really amazing camera to do time-lapse. It actually has a time-lapse feature built into it. That means it does a series of images, and at the end of it, you pretty much just have to hit play, and it will immediately replay the time-lapse that you just created.
When Nikon called me about testing the D600, we thought, well, why not put it to the real test?
In the mountains in Alaska, and that in winter time. The time we were in Alaska, they were 2 inches away of the all-time record of snow.
We camped out in the mountains because we were hoping for northern lights. And sometimes I guess it's all about being out there because we never got to see the northern lights.
And is it getting warm in there? Not really. The highlight of Alaska really was the flying.
Yeah, we spent over a week with my bush pilot friend Ken, and he's quite the pilot. It was extremely hard to attach the camera in a way that it wouldn't vibrate because the whole plane is really shaking.
I'm going to put an object in here and we're going to sandwich it that way.
So this is the 4th test run and hopefully the last one. And luckily the last test run did work out.
The shot we most dreamt about finally came together.